This is the Pimax Crystal Super running at 50 ppd using DLSS 4, and we are in Scotland. This is going to be a full flight today in the Cessna Skywagon, and we're using Sim Update 2 with quad view, so a lot going on really. Look at this view. I actually feel like I'm back here, especially with the DMAS speakers, which, you know, I've really missed having integrated audio. It is just a great feature of this headset, among many other things as well. And you've probably already seen my review of this headset. But I'm actually recording this around 3 days into owning the headset, basically. After a full day yesterday. Look at my shadow there. Why am I walking like a chav? What's all this about? Anyway, and hopefully my camera, by the way, will behave itself now. So sorry about the issues with my AI camera recently, with it zooming and being annoying. Look at this. This is amazing, isn't it? I'm literally right here. Anyway, let's get back to our aircraft. We are going to head over to Ben Nevis, check out the largest, tallest mountain in the UK, and then continue heading west to Glen Forza. Should be pretty spectacular, this. And as always, I'm going to chat about VR, aviation, and whatever springs to mind, but mainly about the Crystal Super in this case. Some of the things that I've found are pain, I don't like. Other things that I find incredibly mind-blowing, and everything in between. So if that's interesting to you, then stick around, stay tuned, and we'll get straight into this video. Look at this, look. I do love the walk around sort of avatar mode in 2024, and I must admit I am falling in love with it now. It's finally working a bit better with Sim Update 2 beta, which I've been following quite closely. He says, why has it just done that? Right, anyway, let me just cheat and press the Shift C, and we'll get into the aircraft. Okay, let me just recenter myself. And oh, you're with me again, aren't you? Do you know, this guy, I can't stand him. Let me just get rid of him, because the EFB now works. I've just got to remember how to get rid of him. Flight performance, center gravity, empty. Yeah, get rid of him. Oh, that's so annoying. I've got to see, that's stupid. I've got to basically look at my keyboard, and I'm in VR here, Osobo. Come on, sort this out. And then press that. Has he gone yet? And then load into aircraft. Now he's gone. Osobo, we cannot look at our keyboards. Please understand that. And actually, talking of being empty, the fuel is a little bit on the low side. So I'm using the Pimax Crystal Super microphone. You know, it's one of those things that, no, it doesn't sound great, but it's good enough to be able to talk to you and you can hear me. And in some ways, it might make it sound realistic, like you're, you know, talking to me through a Bose headset or something. But admittedly, that's one of the things I don't like about the Crystal Super. Being a premium headset, it should have a better microphone. But at least it works in a fashion. Right, I'm not in my motion rig, as you can see. So I feel a bit weird here, and all my control bindings are a bit over the place as well. I'm using the alpha yoke. Let's see. Oh, this works. Okay, let's just clear prop. Ooh, very nice. I do actually really like this bird. One of the free aircraft Osobo has provided as a sort of, well, basically an apology for some of the, let's say, issues they've been having with this sim. Right, anyway, that's the fuel pump coming off now. Let's just have a quick look outside. We are ready to go already. This is beautiful, absolutely gorgeous. We're getting 45 frames per second on the button. In fact, we're probably getting more than that, but I've locked the frame rate to 45 because I'm running the Crystal Super at 90 Hz. That gives me a nice, smooth sort of feeling across the ground. Highly recommend that, folks. Just a simple trick, works really well. And I can't believe I'm even saying that I'm getting 45 frames per second with a 50 ppd headset with a resolution that's like 6,000 or something. But that is this computer I'm running. It's an absolute dream, I've got to say. Right, let's get cracking. I'll talk about the Super more after a quick sound check. And yeah, we'll get up in the air and flying into some beautiful scenery. Okie dokie, welcome back. I've just made myself a little bit smaller. And the only reason why I'm on the camera is so you can see that I'm using the headset. And I guess you can just see it, sort of how it's sat on my head and how I find it in terms of comfort, which, to be honest, I am really surprised by the comfort. I mean, make no mistake, this is a big headset, but it's actually the smallest Pimax headset that they've ever made. And that little weight reduction, and particularly it's not so much about the weight, but the inertia of having it smaller on your head makes a difference. It really does. All right, off we go then. Oh, this feels very smooth. You know, one thing I haven't been doing much of since getting the Crystal Super, and that is actually enjoying the bloody thing. I've been too busy making videos, which of course that's what I do on the channel, but at heart, I'm just a hobbyist, a flight sim nerd, just like you watching this. And for those of you who think making YouTube videos is easy, trust me, it is very hard, especially when you're trying to record decent VR footage as well. It's just not easy. It really isn't. Anyway, that's enough of the violins. Let's have a look outside. Oh, that's a beautiful view right there. Looking gorgeous. As his flaps are still down, you idiot. Hang on. There we go. Oh, wow. DLSS4 as well, running at 45 frames per second. I could actually get way more than this, as I say. Without locking the frame rate, I'm getting around 60 frames per second with DLSS4 in Scotland. And quad views is working as well. I can't believe it. It's amazing, isn't it, that quad views is a thing now in MSFS. Thank you, Asobo. I mean, I am a bit disappointed that the gains aren't higher, like in DCS World, but it's early days. Would be nice if we could have a way of adjusting the size of the image and the performance and the quality in different stages as it gets further and further out from our vision. But you know, I'm not going to be too picky. They are trying, and that's all I want, really. That's all I've ever asked for, is for them to try and take VR a bit more seriously, and they have. Right, let's just wind down the RPMs a bit here. And is my trim working? It's supposed to be, but I'm not sure it is. That's one thing I don't like about this sim, is the bindings. Right, take the taxi light off. Landing light should have been on, as should be the beacon light. So I'm really not flying very well today. My aviating skills, or airmanship shall I say, isn't the best. But I don't care. I really don't care, because I want to talk to you about the Crystal Super whilst flying in this achingly beautiful place. So I've now been using it. Of course you've seen the full review, but there's other things I can say as well, sort of off the cuff, and you know, as I'm flying around. I have managed a 3-hour session now. I mean, really, I've had it on all day. Thinking about it, I did some loads of B-roll and tried different sims as I was getting to know it. That was like an 8 to 10 hour day in the Crystal Super, but obviously I wasn't using it completely for that amount of time on my head. But I've done a full 3-hour session now, and you do feel the weight after that. Unfortunately, I don't have the top strap on because Pimax forgot to send me the screws for it. So that, I'm sure, will make a big difference. But I was quite surprised that it's not like the top strap is essential with this headset. And comparing this to the Somnium VR1, the comfort levels are way better. Way better. And things like the field of view as well in this is superb. I went back to the Megan X after a full day in this, and I was absolutely shocked. I was so shocked with how tiny the field of view is in the Megan X. But then after using it for about half an hour or so, you get used to it. And that's the thing about field of view. You kind of get used to the image in front of you and sort of how large your vision is. And you just adapt to it. But then I'm not a massive field of view guy. I appreciate it, don't get me wrong. But visual quality and great lenses and all that other stuff is more important to me. And I'm glad to say, and I can't believe I'm saying this in some ways about a Pimax headset, that they have nailed the really important factors such as aspheric lenses. These are sensational, like aspheric lenses. They are brilliant alongside the best distortion profile I've ever seen. It is very nice. There's no warping whatsoever with these lenses. So other things, but it's not all good news. So let's talk about some of the niggles. Well, the main one, I think, there's two main ones I think that people are going to have a bit of a hard time with. The first one is chromatic aberration. I think that's going to be one of the killers for some people. Thankfully for me, it doesn't really bother me too much. I think that's because I'm used to way worse than this. Like the Vario Aero has pretty bad CA. And I think this is probably around that sort of level of CA. The Vario XR4, might I add, which is way more expensive than this, has worse CA than this, way worse. And the Air Force use that to train their pilots. So, you know, I'm just saying that to put that into context, that it isn't like the end of the world. But if you are sensitive to CA, don't buy the headset. Don't buy this because it has it. Now, I don't know if that's going to be fixed in time or improved. Knowing Pimax, it probably will be. But only time will tell. The other thing that could be a deal breaker for you, is this Ben Nevis, by the way? I think it might be. It's in the cloud. Is Mura. Actually, that's good timing, because the thing is about Mura is you can see it in the cloud. Now, I think, and I'm going to be completely straight with you guys, I do feel that Pimax has cherry-picked my headset, okay? And it looks, I mean, this is the best it's probably ever going to look. And the Mura in this, well, it's hardly there. Even in a scene like this, I can see a little bit of it, but it's just not an issue. That's, unfortunately though, going to be some, you know, that's going to vary depending on the headset. I will say though, if the Mura is that bad, Pimax has shown to me with this headset that there are panels out there that they're selling that has really good displays like this. So just send it back. Ask for a refund or send it back, because they do have a 14-day policy, which is pretty amazing, I think. Now, just to interrupt myself, a member of my Discord said that you can see the quad view window moving around in cloud. I wonder if you'll see that on the image, but here we go. Now this is a proper panel test right here. Complete whiteout of cloud. And yeah, this looks great. I can see a little bit of Mura, a very faint outline. But that is an absolute non-issue for me. And oh yeah, I just a minute there, I just saw the square box moving in my eyes just for a second there. Anyway, enough of that. Look at this view. Look at this absolute state of that view. As Murphy would say, Jesus, look at that view. I can't do it like he can. But yeah, that is impressive. Look at that. We're at 4,000 feet. That's spot on with the mesh. I think is Ben Nevis, is it around 4.5? I can't remember. Do you know, I could almost kick those stones. It's that sharp. Brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. Yeah, 4,500 feet. Brilliant. Okay, so we'll now start to head in a westerly direction. So there is going to be a change coming on the channel, by the way, folks, because I am aware all I've done this year is show new hardware. That's never really my intention, but it's just because there's been so much happening in the flight sim world right now. But I'm glad to say that I will be getting back to the roots of this channel, that is, flying videos. I know they won't get so many views, but honestly, I don't do content for views. I do it because I friggin' love sharing my passion for VR. I actually find it quite hard sometimes when I'm flying for myself. If there's something that's just really, you know, amazing me, like whether it's a particular scene or something, I'm kind of like, I say to Melissa, oh, I should make a video about this. And I have to force myself not to, because I just want to share this. I mean, look at this. Step back a moment from, you know, all of the issues that you have and all of the moaning that, you know, the forum posts of the sim and how this is wrong and that's wrong and how the EFB didn't work and all that. But just sit back for a moment and look at this. We are in Scotland with these visuals using a headset that is at almost at retina levels of resolution now. Can't quite believe it, folks. I really can't. And now that the Crystal Super is out, you're going to see some comparison videos, of course, against the Somnium VR1, the Megan X, the Crystal, OG Crystal, that is, maybe the Lite as well, or they're kind of basically the same headset, but without eye tracking. And any other things you want to know about the Crystal, or any particular comparisons, let me know on the channel. And of course, I will also be doing a sort of best PC VR headset of 2025 so far, because it's quite complicated now, especially as there's a bit of a split in the industry. We've got 3 different types of headsets now. We've got the Quest 3, which is still a utterly brilliant VR headset. I was in it the other day for 3 hours with a friend playing walkabout mini golf. Just a brilliant little headset, that is. And then you've got headsets such as the Crystal Lite. What else is in that category? Maybe the Big Screen Beyond 2 in terms of price. It's getting a bit higher end, I know, but there still isn't really a really cheap sort of mid-ranger. But I guess mid-range nowadays is probably around the £1,000 mark. And then you've got the really high end, and this, you can tell me in the comments all day long that this is an expensive headset. It isn't. It is amazing value for money. Incredible value for money. I think the only thing that it really falls down on for me, like the major thing, is probably mixed reality. Because the mixed reality pass-through on this is absolute junk. It's terrible. It's awful. But I know they're thinking about a faceplate, which will be quite cool. But I haven't really heard much about that. God, it has not budged at all. 45 frames per second on the button. I reckon my frame time must be incredibly low as well, because it feels so damn smooth. There are things that need to be worked on, such as smart smoothing. It kind of is working. I kind of see it works, but it's just a little bit less, you know, not consistent enough, I've noticed. I think things like CA could be improved as well. What else? I don't know really, to be honest. I think the software is really good. Again, I know it's controversial, but I actually think the software of the Pimax, well, whether it's the Crystal Lite or whatever, you know, it's really good now. You've got a nice amount of options. The eye tracking works great on this. It's comfortable. It is, yeah. I love this headset. And I didn't expect to. And I admit I was wrong. I told you guys to be cautious when pre-ordering this headset. Sorry folks, I was wrong about that, because turns out it's amazing. The only thing is though, is I'm saying all this, right? But then the batches are going to roll out, people are going to get theirs, I don't know if they're going to run into problems when mass producing these, and that's what happened to Crystal Light. I got a headset from Pimax. They obviously checked it, and it was perfect, you know. And I made a review, and I was really impressed. Then they had issues with their lenses. I can't foresee these types of things, folks. I can only review what's in front of me. I think the same thing is happening with the Megan X at the moment as well. So it's a tricky thing being a VR YouTuber. It really is. But let's get back to these views again, because they are absolutely beautiful. And talking of being a YouTuber, I'm just going to check once again the levels and sound. And I'll get back to you in a moment for the stunning approach into Glenforza. Right then, folks, welcome back. And I've just upped the sound a little bit of the Skywagon. And yeah, this scene here is so beautiful, isn't it? Absolutely gorgeous. But I will say that if I was in the Megan X right now, even though it's not as sharp, it doesn't have the field of view of the Super, that scene there would look even more dramatic because of the colours. It's funny how colours are more important than I ever thought when thinking about VR headsets, you know, and micro OLED, the 4K display in that thing is amazing. Oh, I do like this though, how the brightness there of the scene. This is what MSFS 2024 is superb at. This darker spell here, how you can see the sort of clouds casting shadows onto the terrain, and this bright spell here, that, oh. Now I reckon that probably will show better, funny enough, in the Crystal Super because it's a brighter headset. So the darks and the brightness will probably be more dramatic. Isn't it funny, isn't it? We just don't have both right now. What would I prefer in terms of this scene? Deeper colours, you know, versus brighter colours. I don't know, I think I'd go for the Megan X when it comes to the colour palette. It's just so beautiful to look at. This feels, well, you can tell it's LCD, well, QLED anyway, you know, it looks way better than LCD, but it's still not like micro OLED. Right, so let's just do a bit of a run-in and break. But I just wanted to mention something quickly about the Super at the moment, is the EFB. This is a very good example of, like there, I can see chromatic aberration on that icon. Unless I move around, even then I can see it. That's pretty bad. Yeah, the chromatic aberration, I think that's going to be something people are going to struggle with. I've come from the XR4, which is worse than this, guys. It's worse. But I think if you come from other headsets, maybe a Quest or a Big Screen Beyond or something, I don't know, then you might struggle with the chromatic aberration. But I do hope they can fix that and make that better. Also, I meant to mention, local dimming is a bit of a disappointment for me so far. I thought it would be better with the, you know, there's more zones now. I think it's 1,000 per display, per eye. I can't remember now. But it kind of like, I haven't noticed blooming as such, but when you look at a bright panel, I can see the display dimming and then getting brighter again, or changing as it sort of adjusts the contrast and, sorry, adjusts the brightness of the panel. It's a bit of a weird sensation. No doubt I've probably explained it better in my full review, so go check it out if you haven't already. But yeah, the local dimming, it's okay, but I was expecting deeper blacks than that. This could be, though, down to the fact I'm used to the Megan X and Big Screen Beyond now. Right, fuel pump coming on then, so landing light, the mouse has gone sticky. I hate when it does this. And put a bit of trim in as well. I'd love to visit this place in real life. Wow. I've never visited Glenforza. In fact, I've never flown in Scotland before. In a little GA plane. That must be quite an experience. Right, mixture fully rich, prop fully forward. Don't really need any more flap, actually. This will do. And we'll park up have a walk to the water edge and call this video done. If you've got this far in the video, thank you very much. It really means a lot. Here we go. Using the alpha yoke, by the way. Still like it. I still really like this yoke. Is that a 3-point landing? I'll take it. Wow, look at this. And what we'll do is we'll just park over here. Why not? Right next to the water. Excellent. This is where MSFS 2024 shines the most. Apart from one of the things that is probably worth upgrading to on its own, and that's when you switch off the battery, you don't get the logbook of death. Anyway, let's just jump out and just enjoy this view, folks. Oh, I love that. There's like a Caledonia McBain ship over there. And let's have a paddle to finish. I love it. So this has been the Pimax Crystal Super in MSFS 2024 Sim Update 2 Beta using quad views, using a 5090 PC, AMD 9800 X3D processor. Oh, it's just a VR nirvana, to be honest. If you'd like to purchase your Crystal Super through my affiliate link, you're more than welcome to. And that will do for this video. Thank you so much for your support on the channel. It really means a lot. I'm just going to find a spot here, listen to this view, get my picnic mat out, and have me sandwiches. This is just fantastic, isn't it, this? Just look at this. Wow. Beautiful. Take care. I'll see you again very soon. Bye-bye for now.